Hi there, AGDQ submission staff. My name is Psyonix, and this will be my All Golden Fruits submission video. I'm going to try my best to explain everything that I'm doing in the speedrun, but there's going to be stuff that I miss, inevitably, because there is a lot going on during the run, and it's hard to explain everything. So, if there is any questions, feel free to contact me or any of the other runners that have submitted for this game. Just like with any percent, timing starts on selecting adventure mode, so here we go.
Waka 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 waka.
You will be hearing my spacebar a lot because if you hold down two confirm buttons while tapping one, it'll skip the cutscene quicker.
Here is Pac.
We're trying to get into the first level. Normally this game is timed without loads, but for the purposes of this marathon event, we'll be using loads. RTA. Alright, just doing basic rev rolls here and jumps to traverse the level here.
Here we go.
Pac-Man has a lot of movement options. If you remember from the original game, he's got a rev roll, a butt bounce, and a kickflip. New to this game, he also has a Pac dot throw, reminiscent of World 1. He has a flutter, which was in the previous remake, World 1 Re-Pac, and he has a super butt bounce, which is that move right there. Also, this game features voice acting, so that's fun. Mash through those menus to exit the level quicker. And I always go out into the menu here because the level select is faster. Okay, just basic level traversing here. Oops. Interestingly, in this game, kickflips actually propel you a little bit forward, so they're a very useful movement tech. Gain some extra distance. Very helpful.
All right.
Now, unlike any percent, this will include all 6 main areas of the game. We're first going through Paradise Meadows. Next is the treetops. Then you got the I forgot what it's actually called, but it's the Snowy Mountains, something like that. We then have the Volcano World, followed by the Ocean and Ghost Island. That's 6 areas. Pretty straightforward so far. First level is straightforward. Alright, and now we have the boss. So it's always basically 3 levels and then a boss fight. We have Clyde's Frog here. And they actually fixed the names of the ghosts. This used to be Blinky in the OG. Well, it looked like Clyde, but that's what it was called. It was a mistake. Alright, and we got phase 2 here. So this game does not have boss checkpoints, so if you just die at a boss, it's whoa. You just have to restart the fight. If you just die at a boss, yeah. Very bad. Okay. Yeah, in the original, boss fights had checkpoints after you completed a phase. But for some reason here, they just took them out. So, definitely more challenging. Alright, on to World 2, or Area 2. Treetops. Normally you're supposed to bounce on these, but I just like to rev across them. Alright, this one's a pretty hard trick. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Nah, I didn't get it. Okay. But yeah, you can cross that gap if one plays well enough, I guess. This is the normal strat, just go this way. Actually, forgetting the route. You go this way, okay. Okay, we do a little skip here. Normally you're supposed to hit some buttons to make those Bedouins fall, but just revving across is faster, you know? So. And here, just revving across instead of bouncing on these. Okay. So when you take damage in this game, it plays a little animation, like a stun animation. And this could very well get in the way when you're jumping over pits and stuff. If you get hit, you'll just fall and die because you have to wait for the animation to play. It could get quite annoying, and it loses time. Unlike the original, where if you take a hit, you kind of just take a hit, and you're still moving, still in the flow of things. Here, you gotta deal with the animation, so. Very minor thing. Thought I'd mention it though. Alright, here's a little skip. We angled that so that we could rev across. we go.
All right.
Even though the super butt bounce has a little bit of a delay, it helps for crossing some gaps. So, like right here, that was a little skip in the level. Definitely played that a little bit too safe in my opinion, but it's alright. For the purposes of demonstration, I think it gets the idea across. What's great about these little ropes is that they kind of like lock Pac-Man onto them. So it's not actually so terrifying to rev across them because the game assists you. It's like almost like an aim assist, but just something to keep Pac-Man on the rope. So there was a little skip there. I don't know if another runner performed it. Basically, you jump on the balloon and do a super butt bounce to skip this section. I don't go for it yet, so yeah. But I could go for it if this game were to get accepted and I were to be running the game. I wouldn't mind doing that. It's a little hard to pull off, that's why I don't go for it, but you definitely have to be precise with some of the tricks in this game. Like I said, it's very easy to rev across these ropes. There's essentially, not gonna say there's no risk, but it's very minimized compared to if they just left it normally. Alright, second boss. Alright, instead of Inky's Blade-O-Matic, we have a new boss. New and improved. I'm gonna be restarting the level here to get an early hit. So you'll see that. Basically, you need to let the cutscene play out first before the boss spawns this way. Okay. So we're just gonna do that 6 or so times. You could sort of get behind him. Normally, the game makes you wait for him to do an attack. Kind of stalled myself a little bit here for some reason. So I guess we'll be seeing the attacks. Yeah, I did not need to wait. I'm not sure why. I just kind of zoned out. Yeah, and then the game tells you, oh, it's time for me to get hit. So you just do that. Skip the cutscene here. You could do the same thing on phase 2, but a lot of people find it a lot harder for some reason. So we just do this instead. We make him shoot a laser, and that distracts him. So we just abuse that. We just do that 3 times. And that's Inky.
All right.
That's 2 of the 5 golden fruit? Yes. 2 of the 5. Okay, on to the next world. This is where the game starts to pick up in difficulty. What can I say about that? I don't know. The Rev Rams are formidable. Very annoying enemies to deal with. Here I'm doing some kick flips to gain some extra distance. Super butt bounce saves time with the platforming. Kick flipping on the ice actually improves Pac-Man's momentum on the ice. Like it makes him slip in a favorable way, I guess. That's cool. A small skip there. Oop. Okay. In the original game, the ice was so slippery. Now it feels like you have some sort of control when you're on the ice. Alright, Avalanche Alley. Being chased by a giant avalanche snowball thing. Dang it. Okay. So kind of new to this game, they kind of ramped up the explosives from the original. Like if you're a fan of the original, you'll remember that there's basically no explosives on this level, and so they decided, you know, that was kind of boring. Why don't we just put some explosives to spice things up? Make it more fun and enhanced. Yeah, these are enhancements, so that's what it takes to Re-Pac a game. Just put some explosives down. Okay. Do some kick flips on the ice to gain some speed. Little tech here, if you throw and then kick flip immediately, it'll cancel the throw. And that's important because if I were to just keep the butt bounce, I would just slip. And lose time. A little bit subtle, but yeah. Ooh. I almost just died. Would have been really bad. Avoiding the power pellets because it will restrict my movement. Put me in a form where I can't really do anything. We're just meant to eat the ghosts. Which I'm not trying to do at the moment. A little bit of a safety checkpoint there.
Tasty. Yummy. Yummy.
Now, unfortunately, in this game, they got rid of the infamous wind boosts. In the original game, they had these like ice blowers that propelled Pac-Man.
Here we go.
So they're just not in this game, unfortunately. They were definitely a lot of fun, but kind of a big reason why a lot of runs died in Avalanche Alley. Alright, sort of playing it safe here. Okay, I'm approaching the end of the level.
Here we go.
Definitely a tough level for what it is. Very easy to die.
All right.
Alright, now we got the ice skating level. Blade Mountain.
Pac-Man.
Now, unlike in the original where you have to like hold straight on the analog stick to gain a lot of speed, this time it's just bunny hops. So it's not too precise anymore, I guess if that's the right word. Just jump to your heart's content, and that is believed to be the way to do this.
Yummy. Tasty.
By the way, you might see me destroy some of those crates. It's doesn't really pertain to the speedrun, it's just for fun, I guess. Now, I think I said earlier that kickflips usually propel you forward. We find that in this level, it doesn't really do that, so we don't really kickflip so much. Not 100% sure, to be honest, but yeah, I don't think kickflipping saves any time over not, so not too important to do it. Oops.
Yummy.
Pressed A too early there.
Tasty.
Aw. That was a mistake. Probably shouldn't have done a jump there. This is about the point where I took a death. Passed it.
Yummy. Tasty. Yummy.
I don't know if I mentioned the voice acting, but yeah, this game has voice acting now. I shouldn't say they have it now, but they've decided to add voice acting for the remake. And it's pretty fun.
All right.
It's a fun addition. You know, he says yummy and tasty every time you eat a fruit, so, you know, that's always fun. Alright, time for the boss. We got Pinky here. And it's unlike the OG, it starts off as an ice skating segment
Hey there.
in a where we are chasing off a bear mecha, so to speak, while avoiding the obstacles. So definitely very different from the original, where pretty much each of the bosses were derivatives of each other. You know, in the original, I used to beat the Pinky boss like so fast that I would never hear this part of the song. So I appreciate that they increased the length of the fight, but also, you know, speedrunning stuff, so I suppose that's why the game is longer. But yeah, no big deal. Just gonna try to lead the bombs away from the cubs here. We don't want her to summon cubs again, because that wastes some time. And we're just hitting these green bombs back at her. We need to hit three at her before her weak point will open up. And so we have 2 chances to do that. And she spits out 2 bombs each time, so hope that makes sense. There we go. And this is phase 2. Same deal. Just wait for her to do the bomb attack. The green bombs, and then the fight will be over. Trying to keep the cubs alive. Another thing is, you don't want to get too close to Pinky, because then she'll do a melee attack, and that will use up time, so we don't want to use up time. Okay, this is the last hit. And there we have it. Golden apple.
All right.
Alright, so that's 3 of the 6 worlds down. And now we're up to the volcano levels. Now the challenge is really going to start picking up. Many bottomless pits, lava is insta-death, etc, etc. Stun locks, getting hit and then dying because of the animation.
Yummy.
Got little pukas here. A little bit of cycle platforming. In the original, I remember these waterfalls, they would propel you forward if you slipped, and then you would just, like, fall into a pit and die. Very finicky that way. Alright, we have a little tight roping section, but like the ropes in the treetop levels, they kind of guide you, so it's not as hard to fall as you think, or not as easy. Alright, that guy needs to be defeated. He is under, or on top of a button. That activates that gate, so. The metal dot in this game gives Pac-Man like increased weight, which by extension increased gravity. So definitely a little bit more, how do I put it, nerve-wracking to be in this state while jumping over pits and stuff. Alright, and that's the end of the level.
All right.
Alright, Volcanic Panic. Now, in the original game, this level had an out-of-bounds clip that pretty much ended the level in like less than 40 seconds. There is an out-of-bounds for this level, but it's insanely hard to do and not consistent at all. Essentially, it's not RTA viable, so I will not be going for it in the run. We're just gonna play through the level traditionally. Do have some tricks up our sleeve though. So essentially this level, there's 4 rooms with buttons, and that each of the buttons opens a new floor. As you can see, restarting from checkpoint, I'll just teleport back here. Okay, I was, so the reason why I was kind of not rushing to get the ball there is because I want to be able to make these, and I have not made them successfully. It took a little bit too long, because the Pac-Man was kind of eating me alive, unfortunately. No worries. Do a little backup here. Yeah, the game wants us to take that Pac-chain, but we just ignore it. So items sort of have like a magnifying effect, which allows me to do things like that, where I just attract the metal dot and make it last longer. Not really make it last longer, but collect it at a point that buys me more time to skip this section over here. Yeah, normally you're supposed to do some ledge grabbing gymnastics, but I say nah. Alright, we got the lava rising. But I'll just use the metal power up to rev my way to the end of the level. How's that sound? And there you have it.
All right.
Magma Opus. If you remember from the original, this level features a slide at the end. Luckily, we also have something for that. Normally, you're supposed to walk on this using the analog stick, but rev rolling allows you to just stay in place. So that's cool. Alright, just hitting some buttons here. We're trying to go to that checkpoint, but it's too high, so raising the lava level here. Wasn't fast enough to cross the lava with the metal power up. Unfortunately, it's fine though. If you're fast enough, you can. But I wasn't really urgent enough, so. Alright, we are gonna take this dot chain, because we need this metal power up across this lava section over here. I like getting the airtime. Very fun. Little trick there, and here's the infamous slide section. I'm very bad at this in the original game, but here I'm sort of a pro at it, so you kind of just go up to that melon, and then yeah, there you have it. That's funny. I think it gave me the never fall down a slope mission. This game has missions which are required for 100%, and some of them are pretty arbitrary. And I don't know, they don't seem to work. Like that one was never fall down a slope, and I clearly fell down a slope, but it gave it to me anyway. Anyway, we have Blinky. Now no longer a you know, as it was. Now he's got a spider. And... haha! That's so cool. Okay. So yeah, a little bug in this game. Little glitch, as you could say. I just skipped the first phase. So if you pause and deal damage at the same time to Blinky and then restart the level, for some reason it just skips that phase. Not sure why. Oh yeah, but then now you gotta deal with the funny camera. And, oh boy, I was not prepared to deal with this. Okay. It's fine. Just gotta make sure to jiggle the right analog stick. Especially over that part where there's lava. Uh-oh. That's not good. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Okay. That was really bad, because in these last two hits, you need to hit 4 buttons. And I am struggling. Wow, okay, this is like worse than how I usually perform. Okay. Okay. Usually when you super butt bounce up there, he lets you ledge grab him up there on the abdomen of the spider. I couldn't get it to work though, so it's quite unfortunate. Okay. That was a little bit nerve-wracking. But there you go, that's a fight. In the OG, I think that was a pear. They changed it to be an orange to line up with the original arcade game fruits. A little bit of trivia there. Alright, now we're on the ocean levels. This is a point where any percent begins. And in my any percent submission, I went for the rock clip. I'm gonna see if I could do the mushroom clip this time. Failing miserably. Still failing miserably. Yeah, I think in the marathon I will do the rock clip for both categories. But yeah, that's what it looks like. You kind of just boost down into that corner, and yeah. So as I explained in my 100% submission, these ocean levels are very different than the original. Pretty much all of those levels were like on rails or auto-scroller, but here, Pac-Man's able to swim freely, 3-dimensionally, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. And what we did, we just went out of bounds and swam to the goal token. Excuse me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We have another out of bounds in this level as well. Which is so much easier than the previous level to perform. As you can see, I got it in less than a second, basically. We're just doing the same thing, swimming to the end of the level. Now we're speculating that a patch is going to be released very soon for this game. We already found out that I think the Nintendo Switch received a patch for this game that kind of made the out of bounds sort of impossible. I'm not going to say, I don't want to say impossible, but they're sort of impossible. They don't work basically anymore. The setups that we do for them, they don't work. So that's going to be interesting how we deal with that. I don't know, just thought I'd mention that. But we have the little auto-scroller here, Yellow Pac-Man. It's not 8 minutes long as in the original. It's more like 3-ish minutes. I think a little over 3 minutes. And we got some nice power-ups and stuff to pick up here that are new to this game. New to this remake. There's a power bomb over there. Bam. We got some homing missiles. And then there's also a laser power-up, which we will pick up pretty soon. But yeah, definitely more fun in my opinion than the original. It's short and sweet. Or shorter. Not short per se, but you know. So this is laser. Bam. Ooh, I should mention, this game has collectible trophies known as Gachapon, courtesy of Bandai. Basically what this means for the speedrun is that we have to skip collecting some things. We have to, make sure not to collect them, or else we'll be forced into a cutscene at the end of the level, which will show what we've collected. So that's one of the capsules over there that we do not collect because it wastes time, unfortunately. Yeah, in World 1 Re-Pac, we had to avoid collecting the tokens, and tokens were pretty much everywhere in the level. So you really had to go out of your way to avoid some of them. And the reason for that is you didn't want to activate the slots at the end of the level because there's no way to skip them. So we have to make sure not to collect tokens. Thankfully, in this game, the only thing we have to make sure not to collect is those capsules, and that's only for this level. And they're very easy to avoid, so that is a very good thing. Very, very good thing. Tokens in this game do not force you into a cutscene. Alright, now we got the Mega Whale. And as I explained in my any percent submission, it's not like your traditional, it's not the same as in the original where you got like 2 cycle, 1 cycle. Instead the fight's broken up into 3 phases, and we got strats for each of them. So definitely a bit longer, but more engaging, which is nice for casual players. But, you know, not such a bad thing that it's long in the speedrun. I mean, after all, that's what makes this game, so. Yeah. So just gonna get through this area. And I'm gonna be sure to pick up a power bomb before entering into the fight. And the reason for that is so I can deal damage to many of... basically, the Mega Whale has turrets, 4 turrets, at the beginning of the fight, and we'll be able to destroy 3 of them instantly with this power bomb, so very fast. Alright, and here comes the fight. And we're gonna release the bomb. And yeah, pretty much almost all the time it's the top left turret that survives. Granted, you don't shoot anything else. Or any of the other ones. But yeah, so that segment of phase 1 goes by. Now we gotta shoot these laser cannons. And it's very easy to avoid these lasers. The hitbox is very generous. Such that we could always keep landing hits. Boom. It's kind of important to not get hit during this fight because there is a damage boost in phase 3 that we want to make sure we have enough health for. So, while it's sort of an easy fight, it's also sort of easy to get hit, especially this part. The torpedoes, that red one really likes to seek you out. Pretty dangerous. So we have to take extra caution to avoid them. Luckily, you're able to shoot them, so that's cool. But yeah, we're just shooting at the weak point here. Do a little bit of rolling to avoid taking damage. Kind of slow. Not awful though. It's maybe like 1-2 seconds. Alright, he's gonna charge up a laser and we're gonna have to fire at the weak point. And if we're good enough, he will not actually fire the laser. Let's see. Ooh, nice. Landed all my shots. Fortunately, we have to wait through this segment. I was about to say section and segment at the same time. Yeah, these little intermissions are mandatory. The only way to damage the boss is by hitting this weak spot. So, yeah. Not much else to explain for this phase. Just using the laser power-up to make the health go down quicker, I suppose. Also, for some reason, shooting and doing the laser at the same time doesn't actually help. I think the torpedoes cancel out the laser DPS, which is preferable, so both at the same time is... we don't think it's a good idea. Alright, and we're gonna take this laser into phase 3. So we get eaten by the Mega Whale, and now we're in the insides, and we're attacking the core. Alright, we're about to damage boost here. Okay, and there we have it. The golden melon. Which were bananas in the original, I believe. I gotta mash through that menu. And so that's all the golden fruit. Now we're on to Ghost Island. And I'm actually going to use my keyboard and mouse for this to navigate the level select faster. I'm able to just select it using the mouse versus using a controller where I have to select each and every one of these levels before I get to the haunted boardwalk. Alright, we're on roller skates. So like the ice skating level, jumping does give you a little bit of a boost. Except when you're on rails for some reason. The thing is with rails, we could do things like this. For some reason, if you just jump at the very end of rails, they just propel Pac-Man like so far forward. It doesn't make any sense, but you know, that's what we do. Also a little bit of a butt bounce there. A little bit of a boost. You know how it is. Butt bounce here. Alright, we got a little bit of a corkscrew coming up. Let's see if I could do it. I usually just go for 2 bounces. Yeah. I play it pretty safe. Another major boost. Ooh. That was a little bit nerve-wracking. Alright, and we are approaching the end of the level. Super butt bounce here. Nice. Alright, next level. Night crawling. The thing is with night crawling is if you've watched the any percent submission, we got some ways to skip certain sections of this, which are of unintended means, I suppose. We have this little tree launch, which lets us skip this maze because we launch over the invisible wall. Pretty funny. Unfortunately, we have to play this maze, so I guess that's what makes it Pac-Man, though, so. All these button patterns are the same, so we have memorized them. Might seem a little intimidating to memorize, but once you do it a couple times, it just kind of lands in your muscle memory. Not too bad. Alright, we got another tree launch here. Nice, nailed it. Normally there's another button down there that sends those platforms to come pick you up. But we just ignore that button because we don't need it, so. You know how it goes. Okay. Third and final maze here. This one's the longest. Okay, now I know some people might be wondering, you know, it's Pac-Man, right? When do we eat the ghosts? Like, seriously. Well, this game's got you covered. There are mandatory ghost eating sections. So, this is one of them. I just have to activate these 3 buttons. And that will spawn a power pellet in the middle. And we hope to do it in one go. But usually it takes 2 tries. And I think I'm going to actually reset checkpoint to save time on the respawning of the power pellet. Yeah, if I let the time just run out for Mega Pac-Man, I would have to wait for the power pellet to respawn, you know, animations play out, etc, etc. I apologize for the little audio glitch. You will just have to bear with the retreating sound effect. The ghost retreating. Cool.
All right.
Alright, Ghost Bayou. In the original speedrun, the original game speedrun, this level had a major skip, which essentially let you just skip the entire thing. Basically, you would like rev under one of the boardwalks, and then it would take you to the end of the maze. But there's nothing like that here, so we just have to play through it and sometimes die along the way. So yeah, I was talking about, you know, animations stun locking you. That was one case of such a situation happening. You know, normal players will just wait for the cycle here, but you know, some super butt bounces can make these gaps. The flutter in this game is very useful for these sections. Lets you buy some time before being able to land on platforms and such. Just eating the ghosts here to get rid of the shield, protecting the Wormwood Heart. And that'll let us pass into the level. Okay, do a little bit of a restart from last checkpoint. Save some walking time. Not that we would be walking, but you know, travel time.
Here we go.
Okay, I think on my any percent submission, I try to rev through So I opted to not do that this time. Grab a safety checkpoint. Grab a safety checkpoint, okay. Unfortunately, as we skip these cutscenes, we're gonna miss a lot of the voice acting. Instead, you'll be stuck with tasty and yummy. Yeah. But the Pac-Man incentive, the Flying Dark Shadow level, that will showcase some of the voice acting and give it justice. Oh yeah, these tentacles that are spawning were not in the original game. They are very annoying to deal with. But such is life. Okay. You know, a good idea is to not kickflip, because that ruins kind of the guide physics. You know what I'm talking about. So if you're gonna kickflip, you gotta jump first. Alright, we're approaching the end of the level here, so...
Here we go!
If you're lucky enough, you could do this using only one power pellet, but sometimes you'll have to do two. And you could either wait for it to respawn or restart from checkpoint, which is before the chain, the Pac chain. I don't know which is faster, but I started just waiting for it to respawn. But yeah, that's Ghost Bayou. A little bit different from the original game, but then again, a lot of this game is. That's what makes it Re-Pac. Alright, so down to the final level. Final boss of the run. Just using my mouse here to select, and we are going to defeat Spooky. Some fast strats here. The juggling thing. The skeleton messed me up a little bit, but that's fine.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'm very bad at getting that hit. Alright, final phase. We just kind of wait for him to do his attacks, and then he'll spawn some platforms after two attacks, and we'll be able to hit him. So, it's a little bit of RNG here, depending on, or a little bit of RNG which attacks you get. Some are faster than others, but it's not too terrible. might need a super butt bounce these. Alright, and then we just do that 2 more times. And we're approaching time, but it's not what you might think initially. Unless you watched the 90% submission already, then you already know what it is, but... Alright, just 2 more attacks. Just spinning in place for no reason. Out of boredom. Alright. Fortunately, we have an unskippable cutscene here, and that's because there's actually a QuickTime event which really ends the fight. And that's when time will be for the run.
You came close, but no cigar, Pac-Man! I have the last laugh! No, not like this.
So we let this cutscene play out, because we have no other choice.
Burn with your precious Pac-Man. So long, Pac-Man!
Yeah, but that was the All Golden Fruits run. If you've seen the 90%, the last 2 worlds are pretty much the same.
Golden fruit, it's now or never.
Yeah.
Please, lend me your strength.
But this showcases the entire, I guess, I want to say first half of the game, because there is
Oh yeah, that hit the
definitely a
spot.
lot of
Last
extra
lap will be mine,
content
Spooky.
after this fight. So,
That despicable form!
Yeah.
I'll bury you in the golden fruit for good!
that is the run. Hope it was enjoyable to watch. And, yeah, so time will be after I finish the QuickTime event. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it and finish the timer at the same time, but that's fine. And there we go. Alright, so now we get to watch the cutscene play out, because last time when I did the 90% submission, my game actually crashed after the QuickTime. So, yeah. As I was saying, that was the run. Hope it was enjoyable to watch. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me or any of the runners that have submitted for this game.
Hey everyone, happy to see me.
It was a good try, but Spooky didn't stand a chance. Uh-oh! You better skedaddle!
Nice one.
Alright, and that will conclude the submission. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.
Pac-Man World 2.